Welcome to another week of Ether Rays. We are in light season. It is pretty late, so I'm going to be doing recaps for some of these matches that I've played. Granted, I don't remember any of these, so I don't know. I don't know how much I'll be talking about them as they go along. Hopefully, I'll see something and point it out whenever it comes up. But yeah, I played these like 2 days ago, so I don't really remember. But this is the first one. This was a pretty easy one. Because of they're kind of boxed in. The only real threat here that can reach is Sigurd. Granted, there is the possibility of divine nectar movement stuff that could potentially happen, but I mean, yeah, they're kind of just boxed in here, so I'm not really too concerned about anything really happening to me here. I am, yeah, really just playing this season a bit safe, I feel. Because as you can see here, I've removed the healing tower out of light season as well. Because after my experience in Astra Anima, with how difficult that was in terms of just unit selection because of that veil that was just absolutely useless, the realization hit me that, man, there's just no safe spaces on offense anymore. There's just not enough room to keep your units safe on turn one. It's pretty much just full foot on the, like, big toe on the pedal, all hands to the pumps, everything off rip, ready to go from the beginning of the map. So regardless of how many structures you have, like if I were to remove everything here, I'd have maybe one free space that was actually safe in the current meta, because it's just so offensive, or rather aggressive, in terms of how team layouts are, defensive team layouts are. They're really just trying to push you all the way back, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get another range increase at some point from IS, because that's the only thing that we can do from this point onwards. Well, to be fair, maybe they won't do it, because from the canon, from the games, 3 spaces is really kind of the longbow. You don't really get anything outside of that unless you're like a mage or something, or you got like bolting, which is kind of represented already in the Lin Ring style. So there is, the probability that they might not do it, but it could also definitely happen that they'll just go, this unit can hit anywhere on the entire map at any time. That might just happen at some point in the future. And I kind of hate to say it, but the safety fence has, well, I mean, it probably already was, but it's definitely at this point the most valuable structure for offense. I mean, yeah, it's great to have your ladders, but if you're a good player, you probably don't need them. And then, you're kind of just stuck with the fortress, and then the summoning circle. If you don't really want to put a unit there, you don't have to. So that leaves us with the safety fence. And yeah, I gotta say, it is definitely the most valuable structure on offense. If you don't have it, you've probably already lost the match, and there's just no room for error if you're playing without it in this current state of the meta. Like, you could have, like I have been, played without it, managed without it for, pretty much the entirety of last year. But we've gotten so many, I want to blame the Flyers. I want to blame Pass on Flyers for this. Probably, who's at fault here? Well, Camilla's the first one, but, that's what I forgot to turn on animations there. But Camilla was the first one, but she was the only one for a while, so that wasn't really the worst thing in the world. But then we got someone with soaring something in the B slot. I think it was Hinoka. I think it might be Hinoka's fault. It might be Hinoka's fault, because now everyone can do that. And then we've gotten subsequent skills that mimic that, different branches of the same skill. And that's now more readily available to more units in the game. And then on top of that, we have units that can hit from 3 spaces away. So, and not only just one, like, I think we have like 5 of them at least now. Math, probably. Maybe I'm forgetting someone, but yeah, threat range is that's the meta that we're in. And then there's just no way to avoid it. Without the safety fence, you can't get a moment to really set up. I mean, you could set up prior to the match. Like, you can take your time and plan out your actions before you load up the match and then decide what you want to do there. But sometimes you really just got to get in there and figure out what's going on, see what it looks like after you break the structures. For a more tactile feel, if you're more that type of person. It's like some people, like with learning. Some people learn by just being told. Some learn by actually doing the thing. So it really depends on what your style is, and
follow my example.
You're really just heavily punished for not bringing it. Because on top of the fact that the safety fence is on top of the fact that threat range is the most dominant thing in the meta now, we're getting to the point where saves are kind of just useless on offense. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. But here's the next match. Alright, so this one is a bit longer. That one pretty much ran off pretty quickly. At least for where we are currently. This one was a bit more challenging. Because we have our first Hector here for Light Season, bonus Hector, which was very much a big concern for me coming into this week. I had really no plans on how to deal with him for Light Season aside from Hearthwelger. But I've since found, a couple options in terms of trying to take him down, at least one more. I realized that my Sita does a fantastic job of actually beating this Hector. Attuned Sita does it very well, as long as he's not supported by Marth or anything that removes his armor effectiveness or his armor vulnerability. Sita actually does a really good job of taking him out, so that was a surprise for me. Probably was a merge difference, and also I had a reflex, of course. You kind of need that to kill anything these days. It's insane how bulky things are, which brings me back to my original, point that I mentioned a bit earlier. There was that for offense, it feels like tanking is just not the strat at all still. I mean, you can probably, I feel like you can do anything. You can do anything, but it really kind of boils down to who you run into, what type of defense you run into, and what they have. It's situational, I guess. Whereas prior to that, you could really just tank everything. Like, I really just miss being able to sit my Edelgard down, my Brave Edelgard. Those were the days, and just watch her tank Legendary Sigurd. Those were the good times, and you're not able to do that anymore. There's just so many counters that are available in the meta to whatever strategy that you can concoct. And the most feasible or consistent way to get wins is 100% Gale Force player phase. Try to take out all the units at once, and it feels like we're kind of reducing the amount of strategies to approach the gameplay. That's not a good thing, because what we're going to be left with is player phase strategies, and then they're going to start targeting that, even though they kind of already are, with all of the things that we have in the game now that just slow you down. But we're probably going to get more of those because they've already kind of whittled down our avenues at tackling challenging or oppressive defenses to just attacking turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, depending on how upgraded your safe defense is, which I'm kind of heavily reliant at the current moment.
Where to now?
To be able to set up my team, and in some cases as well, to get that extra unit in there just to help out with maybe positional play, or getting an extraction, an extra kill, or having that extra unit come in and actually be a nuke that can blow something up that is problematic that I had not planned for. That extra thought does give you coverage when it comes to planning your team, because there are limited options in terms of spaces for one that you can go into the initial map with. I'm finding that Lynn, man, this Mythic Lynn, they really made her a lot better than I don't think they realized how good they made this unit. And I think she will be around for quite a bit. In the same vein as Hearthwelger, the power that this Mythic Lane has it's quite substantial. I don't think she'll age off for at least at least this year. She's probably still going to be good for the rest of this year. In comparison to some of the other mythics, I think this Lyn is better than the Tiki that they just released. I can't even remember who the other mythics were prior, but this Lyn is really, really good. I want to say she's kind of on the same level as Heimdallr, or in terms of importance. How important Heimdallr, Alfador. How important Alfador is for offense in Astra, that's the same for Lyn. Lyn is very important to the current team composition for offense, or offensive strategies for Lightspeed. So I'm finding that she's on more of my teams than normal, which is something that like usually would be Peony, or in some cases Herthfelger. But the thing about Herthfelger is she's really just there to blow something up, and that role can be replaced or outsourced, or you can get someone else to do that job. Lyn provides support and is also a very capable nuke, so she's a bit more versatile in terms of what she brings to a team in comparison to Herthfelger. So yeah, I think this Lyn is going to be around for a while. I could be wrong, but from all indications, I definitely think this is a really good unit. We have this team that I saw. This is kind of one of my preferred teams for this week. Brave Bowler, still one of my favorite units, although I really wish the extra action thing was for flyers or for range units as well, because that's really the thing that I'm missing on my on Brave Bowler here.
Where to now?
Shared spoils, if you have someone with shared spoils, that's a really good partnership for her to get the extra action, because she kills some things, and man, a lot of the times, like 80% of the times, I'm just like, man, I want you to kill something else. And I'm not able to do that with her, without like a dance or something. I wish she was just able to get that, just like how Golvig can get that extra action. I want Boulder to have that in her Refine and Remix. I want her to get an extra action, but I don't think they'll do that. That's kind of a Golvig thing, and they play favorites that way.
We'll see it
but it's really good to have this Boulder around. I really like this unit. For this map here, I was just trying to open up space to be able to attack into it once I go up there. We're very worried about Hector, like I said, but also some concern with the fact that there's a Dancer here in Triandra, and there's also I think, if I remember correctly, there's a Byleth Ring unit on there as well, so the possibility of getting sniped was very high, so I had to play this all actions all out on turn 3 just to make the most of my action economy and make sure that I got everyone taken out in one turn, which is what I was setting up to do pretty much. A little bit of a mishap here in terms of the positioning of Boulder. Boulder should have been in the position that Peony was in, but I was having some trouble getting that done. I really should have did it from turn 1 from the setup, but hindsight, you miss things sometimes. Like I said, sometimes you gotta get in there and to see how it feels, but this team, this defense covers so much of the map. If you allow them to attack, if you try to tank it, you just don't have a ton of space to do that. So that really wasn't tanking it really wasn't a great strategy, because there's no way you're going to keep everyone safe unless you're running some type of really strong near save team, maybe with near save Hector, but I'm not 100% confident that you'd be able, but to survive, you'd have to run some type of near save, far save combination, and that might not work well, because they have a lot of powerful threats. You have the Reflex on Fjorm, Celica, who is actually really strong. I really like the Celica. I think she's far better than Byleth. Byleth still has that support thing that he does, which is really, really good. But I thoroughly enjoy this Celica. I'm disappointed that I did not have enough orbs at the time to summon more on that banner, but this Celica is a ton of fun. That I've had her on defense, or I currently have her on defense. I remember saying I was trying to build around her, and I currently have her on defense, and she's really fun there. And I had to actually bless her for offense, because the options were her or Hector or the other one. Who's the other one? Fjorm. Fjorm didn't really, as you can see here, a lot of my team composition is blue, so Fjorm didn't really tick the box for me. I kind of felt like I needed some variety, so that's why Celica is here. On top of the fact that she's really good, and again, another reason why I think she's better than Byleth is that she has that harmonic button, which that button is really, really good. Really, really good, and I don't see it aging poorly, unless they do something where you just can't get your extra action for whatever reason, which I don't see happening because there's already a dual harmonic structure that you have to consider when bringing these harmonic units into the game. So there's already counterplay to them, so unless they're going to add more counterplay, which would then be just nonsensical. So I foresee that button being really good for a really long time. I was very surprised there that Boulder, New Year's Boulder, was able to take out Hector. I'm assuming that that was more than likely down to the amount of support that was available to him, which was not very much. So he was kind of left on his own there and died very easily to Boulder, which was surprising. I was expecting more of a challenge there, but it's a good thing nonetheless. It allowed me to clear the map more thoroughly or easily. The plan here was to leave one of the units for last. More than likely it would have been Fjorm. Yeah, I definitely wanted to kill Loki, but I had to build up a plan to get that done. And yeah, Fjorm, I was going to try to get Lynn to take out Fjorm, which she does convincingly pretty much all the time. Like, Lynn just blows up Fjorm, which is just bizarre. I mean, color advantage, but then also, this Lynn is really good, man. Like, really, really good. Definitely need some merges. I'm probably going to buy some orbs. I feel like I'm just... There's fodder that I need. Never a good idea to pull for fodder, but man, there's fodder that I need. Because the thing is, you're going to get new fodder pretty quickly, and there's new units that are always being released, and fodder will be replaced very quickly. Currently, it's been replaced very quickly, but there's just so many things that I currently just don't have, and I kind of want to put on my units so that I can be able to use them. So I think I'm going to buy some orbs so that I can just summon and try to actually play the game. Because the other option is to actually play the game and get orbs that way, but I've played through so many. I don't think I have a ton of maps left to give me orbs that way, so I'm probably going to have to buy some, unfortunately. Probably going to dip into the A Hero Rises banner because I haven't finished sparking on that. I think I am going to, I think I said this before, I'm going to skip Tiki. I don't think she's that great. I don't really need her for offense. As a save unit, she's just not very competent. It looks like there's a lot of good stuff there, but she kind of ends up just blowing up. I mean, when Neathhogger came out, that was a really good save. This Tiki is not on that level. She's kind of more of a support unit, and the support that she provides isn't really necessary or needed. So that kind of leaves her in a weird spot. So yeah, I'm probably going to skip this Tiki. Even though I really... it all comes back to release. I really need more copies of Silence Ward. The only unit that I have it on, Emblem Micaiah, 1 copy, and a Nyx that I picked up from Binding Worlds, which is kind of difficult to fit her in all the time. There's certain situations where you want to use different or specific units, and Silence Ward is kind of like top tier fodder right now because of release and because of the thing that I was saying earlier, where armored units just don't matter.
Whatever you need.
They die so easily. Point 1. Point 2, Elise essentially makes it null and void. She neutralizes their existence. Yes, you probably still have to play through them, but the support that they provided, or at least the primary support, which was the save, is kind of gone.